Hi, Mark Savage, Savage on Wheels here. We're talking luxury cars today. We've been talking a lot of luxury cars, it seems like, lately. A couple weeks ago, we had the Lexus LS 500, 110 grand, big luxury sedan, really nice. Now we move a little more downscale into maybe not quite Paulinized price range, but getting closer, in that this is the Lexus IS 350, more of a Camry-sized car instead of the big long luxury sedan. It's got a sleek look to it. I really like the design of the nose, and they've smoothed out these lights and given us little pointy lights on the thing. But this one starts about 46 grand, and it's 58 as it rides here. This is the F Sport model, which is kind of the upper scale, sportier handling and driving model. So we'll show you how fast it is. We'll show you, you know, what it's inside, and its luxury interior. Kind of bright red. We'll show you that in a minute too. But a good looking car. Some people don't like this big spindle grille. I kind of think it looks cool with the way they've got the lights designed in here, and of course they all got the great big logos on them now. They've also smoothed out the tail lights on this. So again, good looking car. I like this bright silver. It's a really good silver. A lot of them are too gray, and I think it's going to be a fun one to drive. So a bright red interior on this. Paul and I were just talking about, kind of the seats are a little bit more of a muted matte darker red, but the trim here for the dash and the doors is a brighter red. And I don't mind the red, it looks great with the silver here, but I just think this is a little plasticky looking here, a little bit doesn't quite fit what I think of as a luxury finish. But you know, you don't look at that all the time. You're going to shut the doors and not see that part. This has, of course, everything on it. The big screen that sticks up here in the middle, I think it's about a 10-incher. And the nice thing is even though they got this funky little touchpad here, you really don't have to use this anymore because they got a touch screen. We got a tuning knob here for the radio, so you can actually tune the radio, the push button stop start. We got the analog, not digital clock. You know, adaptive cruise control, all the safety equipment you'd want. And of course we got the little knob to turn here to get us into our Sport and Sport Plus mode, along with the normal and the Eco mode. And like I say, we'll show you how this is on the highway. Oh, and by overhead, got a pretty good sized sunroof. It's not a monster sunroof, but a good sized sunroof. All right, so we're gonna pull on the highway here now. 3.5 liter V6, no turbo in this baby, but I'm on the Sport Plus setting, which is supposed to get me lots of extra horsepower, and it handles a little sporty, a little firmer. And what do we got here, Paul? I saw 93.
And it still had grunt.
Oh yes, yeah, it was just gaining momentum there. That's a little shorter ramp than we sometimes use. So it's just anybody who's comparing old videos to this one. But we wanted to make sure it was a clear path ahead of us. Again, it's not a turbo, so you don't have that big kick that a lot of them do. And many of the cars these days, even the luxury cars, are going with a 2 and 2.5 liter turbo engine in it, whereas this goes with and it's usually a 4-cylinder. This is the V6, so it's kind of a nice smooth powertrain. And I think that's what Lexus has always been going for, is kind of the smooth performance, luxury performance. And then with the F Sport, something like this, we give it a little bit more tuning for the suspension, and we have various settings again here. Like I say, we're on Sport Plus right now, and I know Paul can see the gauges here. We'll go back to Sport. That changes it just a little bit, and we go back to the normal mode, and that changes it again. Just again to try and set off in your mind that something's a little bit different, and you're going to get a little more horsepower out of the thing. All right, the F Sport, they have stiffened up the springs, the shocks, and they've actually done a little bit of work on the chassis this time to help stiffen that up some. But again, the F Sport does all this to make it more sporty. And again, we'll put it back into the Sport Plus mode here, because that stiffens up the steering wheel feel, so you feel like it's much more like a race car. It's not as tight as some, but it certainly delivers a nice sporty feedback to you. You can see I can just barely, turn the wheel a little bit, and I can get the car to move. And the ride, even though we're on Sport, I don't know, Paul, and this isn't the bumpiest road we'll ever be on, but it's a firm ride but a well-controlled ride, so you don't get that feeling that you're getting beat in the car, which sometimes
Like
the
a go-kart.
performance cars are
Yeah.
like a go-kart. Yeah, you just don't feel that. So again, comfortable car for a long ride. We were talking earlier about the seats here, Paul and I. Nice kidney support, nice lower back support, nice hip support. Again, for years, Lexus has had some of the absolute best seats in the industry, and it certainly continues with this one. You know, you can get one of these for about 43, 44,000. This one has all-wheel drive, so that's what pushed it up to that 46 or so for starters. But then it adds a bunch of options, which seems to be the big deal here lately. A lot of the luxury cars really adding a lot of stuff on. This has the dynamic handling package, which is $3,800. And so you get the black BBS wheels, which are sharp. You got your drive mode select with the Sport and Sport Plus. So an adaptive variable suspension, ash heated wood trimmed steering wheel, and interior trim, and triple beam LED headlights, which also added $1,250 to this. Fancy Mark Levinson audio system is $2,750. The premium paint job is $425, which I don't think is too bad if it's the color that you really want. Power tilt and slide sunroof is $1,100, and that's just some of it. I mean, there's more on here, but enough to push it from 46 up to 58 and change. So again, you could get this at a fairly reasonable price, or you can keep pushing it and adding everything onto it and getting it way up there. So the IS350 from Lexus, nice sporty sedan. If you need a little more leg room and so forth for the inside, the ES350 will probably do a job for you. And you know, this is something that's going to compete with probably the BMW 3 Series, the TLX from S from Acura, people like that. You know, it's a sporty sedan, but it's, you know, you can fit the family in here if you need to. $58,000. That's really kind of mid-range now at this point. I know it's hard to believe, but again, good-looking car, drives nice, handles great, plenty of power, but not super fast.